Welcome to this presentation. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. We don't normally do presentations in the middle of the day, but I thought I'd give it a shot and see if this is more convenient for people. Today, we're going to just talk about how you can get started teaching English online from Europe specifically. We'll be going over what exactly teaching English online is. I know that you may have heard of this and you may have an idea in your head, and after many years of doing this and speaking to a lot of people, I'm pretty certain that a lot of people have the wrong idea of what exactly teaching English online is like. So we'll go over that. We'll also talk about what you'll need to get started, hardware, software, certifications, things like that. We'll cover who can teach English online, what kind of person, what you need. Also, what you can expect from an online English teaching career. What are you going to be teaching your students? Who will your students be? How will you be teaching them? Like working for yourself, working for online schools, how much can you earn, for example, things like that. And then also at the end, how eTEFL online teacher training can help you get started teaching English online. So we're about to begin. Let's make sure that you don't have any distractions. Mobile phone is on mute. Just letting in a few more people as we go along. So please excuse me if I seem a bit distracted for a second. A lot of people are joining the room, and then I'll add them as we go along. I'll try and keep this short. The presentation should only be around 30 to 45 minutes. Please stay until the end, because we will have something special for those of you that do. And we'll also have a little Q&A session at the end if there are any questions that you may have for something that I did not cover, although I'll try and be as thorough as possible. And I'll also let you know that this presentation is being recorded. So if you do not want to appear on our YouTube channel or in emails and Facebook and all of those places, we'll be sharing clips and the whole recording with everybody afterwards. So just make sure that your video is off and that your audio is also off. Thank you. All right. So I thought the best place to begin would be to introduce everybody on the team. Today, you're with me, Jody. That's the first video and the first photo over there. I am the admissions director for eTEFL Online Teacher Training in Europe. I'm also the founder of eTEFL Online. We have a few offices around the world. I take care of Europe. We have some in South Africa and in Canada as well. And we are growing at the moment to incorporate the rest of the world. I've been teaching English. I'm based here in the south of Spain. I've been teaching English online and in classes for the last 14 years. So I thought around 2016 is when we launched eTEFL Online, when we saw that there was a boom in the online teaching industry. And I thought this would be a great opportunity for a lot of people around the world, because I was teaching in an academy at the time, and that is not for everybody, that I understand. So this is a great opportunity for anybody to work from anywhere, really. Next on the photo list is Xander. He is one of our previous graduates, and he runs up the mentorship program. He went through our program quite a few years ago now, and felt that there was a little piece of the puzzle that was missing, and that was the part of career mentorship, and actually taking everything that he had learned and everything we had provided and actually put it into practice and getting an online job and actually earning money from it. So he approached me, and together we developed the mentorship program, where he works with the graduates, recent graduates. As soon as you get your certificate, you go into the mentorship program. And Xander, who's been very successful as an online English teacher, will show you exactly what to do and what not to do to streamline that process, and so that you don't waste any time afterwards trying to find work and setting up CVs and introduction videos and all things like that. But we'll go into more of that later on into more detail. It is in this presentation. Next is Dr. Daniel Portman. He has a doctorate in education with applied linguistics. He heads up our TEFL course program. He's the guy that designed the program and manages and moderates it as well. He has been training teachers for over 20 years. He's a university professor, so we rely on him a lot to help us with the courses. Next to him is Roxanne. She's the tutor for the course as well. So while our TEFL course portion of the program is self-study, you do have access to a tutor for any questions or support you may need. You'll also need to do some assignments at the end of the course, and then Roxanne is the person who will correct those. Roxanne is a qualified teacher. He has a degree in education, is actually teaching at a school as well, and then helping us on the tutoring side of things as well. And then on the bottom row, we have Kelly, who's our recruitment specialist. She's a freelancer. So she helps us out when it comes to recruitment and getting you jobs, which is very, very important. A lot of other TEFL programs will not provide this service. Next to her is our head of TOEFL studies. That's Leslie, sorry. And she will help you get some specialization in exam preparation afterwards as well. And we'll talk about that in our niche section as well, like separating yourself a bit from the crowd of teachers that are out there. Specializing in exam preparation like TOEFL, IELTS, and Cambridge will give you a boost above other teachers. And we'll go into that in more detail as well. And then, of course, the last photo being our online teacher community. Something else that I've been very adamant that we have from the beginning is a community of teachers to support each other. At the moment, we have around 800 that are active via email and about 200 teachers that are active in our WhatsApp group, where we share information, ask questions, provide support, ask for support. So another very important aspect of what we provide is the lifetime support afterwards. And that comes not just from the team that you see there, but also from your fellow teachers. Okay. So let's just quickly jump into what is teaching English online exactly, just in case you have a different idea. This is just a few photos of some of our successful graduates that have gone on to become very successful online English teachers. So teaching English online is you, the teacher, you're the tutor, whatever you want to call yourself, delivering online lessons via video and or audio to students around the world. That's it in a nutshell. There's some platforms that use video and audio and some very few that only use audio. Maybe I think 1 or 2 apps. But most of the time you'll be on a video presentation with a student. So you can teach adults, you can teach children, you can teach both if you want. There's 3 main ways that you can work as an online English teacher. And one of them is online schools. The second is through freelance platforms. And the third is independently or completely privately. So what we do at eTEFL Online is we help new people that are coming into this without any experience into online teaching as a career. So we focus on the first 2, online schools and freelance platforms, because if you're coming with no experience in teaching, going private immediately is very difficult, because it requires also an aspect of marketing and advertising to get your face out there, so to speak. All right. So what we'll do is we'll take you from having no experience whatsoever, helping you get started with online schools, and then slowly working you into the freelance platforms. A freelance platform is a website that connects students with teachers. So you create profiles on them, and then they will connect you with students. They'll take a commission, of course, based on your performance. But in the end, it is very much worth it, because on freelance platforms, you can set your own rates, you can work your own hours, you decide how much you want to get paid. Whereas with the online schools, their business model is to make as much money as possible. So they charge the students a high fee and they pay their teachers as low as they possibly can. But with the online schools, it is a great way to get started. Think of it as a paid internship. All right. Your classes can also be conversational or lesson-based. Lesson-based is more for the online schools. They have a student base that is mainly young learners. Not all the online schools target young learners, but most do. So they'll provide you with lessons. It's basically a slide show that you go through with your student online. But when you go into the freelance platforms, that's a lot of adults, and it's one-on-one, and it's very conversationally based. All right. So you may have an idea of what online teaching is, thinking back to your school or university or high school days of standing in front of a board lecturing people. And that's usually not the case. 9 out of 10 times, it's really just you on a call with some slides to kind of guide the conversation, and it's just you chatting to people. All right. If you haven't done the free course that you are automatically enrolled in when you sign up to this email list, the email that you received for this webinar is because you are on a list. Everyone on that list should have access to the free course. It's an introductory course. It shouldn't take you more than 2 or 3 hours to go through, and it'll just show you everything. We've got videos in there of what an actual class looks like, that you can see what it's like to teach adults, what it's like to teach children, and a whole bunch of more information, so that you know exactly what you need before you decide to think, to spend any more time or any more money on any training or anything like that. So you can decide whether then this is the correct career choice for you or not. So another thing is, what will you be teaching your students? So this can vary a lot, of course, depending on whether you work for a school or for yourself. If you work for a school, they will tell you what to teach. They will organize the classes, they will organize the lessons, the materials, everything. You just log in and you have everything there ready for you to go. So mostly it will be with young students, like I mentioned earlier. So you'll have some slides that you need to go through, and on the side of your screen on the left, you will have the instructions, really just step by step what you need to do. It's very, very simple. They hold your hand through the whole process. If you work for yourself, on the other hand, you'll need to create some materials. You'll need to prep for your classes. All right, so that also depends on the needs of your student. When you have private students, why are they with you? What do they want to study? All right, so you can discuss something in one lesson and then they'll mention something and you can prepare the next lesson based on that. So you need to be thinking on your feet a bit and preparing lessons for private students. Your skills and experience, of course, do not underestimate what you are already bringing to the table. Most of you on this call, I assume everyone on this call is an adult that's had some professional experience somewhere in the past. The example I always like to use is the real estate person. So if you've worked in real estate, whatever previous career you've had or any work you've done, you can bring that to your English teaching and develop which is the last point, your niche. All right, so this is where you specialize in something that kind of sets you apart from other teachers. So that will depend on what you can bring to the table based on your skills and previous work experience. So if you've done work as a realtor in the past, there are a lot of people in countries like Spain and Italy and France where there are a lot of expats, and the realtors need to be able to use a specific kind of English for their job to be able to convert these people or sell them houses or give them rentals or things like that. So you think outside the box when it comes to niches, all right? So you can take that. These realtors, for example, Spanish realtors or French ones, do not want to learn the cat sat on the mat or general English. They need English specific for their job, jargon and things like that. So if you have experience in that, you can bring that to the table as well. And that's what you could also teach. Okay, what will you need to get started? All right, so first of all, I mean, there's a picture of a computer. Yes, hardware-wise, what will you need? You'll need a computer, a desktop computer, a laptop computer, an iMac, or whatever you have, at least with a webcam, a HD webcam. 720 pixel would be the best. All laptops come with webcams nowadays, but if you do not have one on your PC computer, then you'll need to get a webcam as well. You need a headset with a microphone. This just gives you a more professional look, and especially helpful when you're just starting out and you do interviews with online schools. You show up to that interview with your headset and your microphone and everything ready. It makes you look like a professional. So that's going to be very beneficial to you. And an internet connection with a minimum of 4 to 5 megabits per second speed. So I'm in Spain. The internet connection I'm using right now is 600 megabits, so 100 times more than you need. All right. So as long as you have a stable connection here in Europe, wherever you are in Europe, you're going to have a good internet connection. And that's one of the big bonuses for teaching English online from Europe, is that we have this stable internet connection. Like I said, we have offices all over the world. One of them is in South Africa, where internet connections are not always that stable. So we have a huge bonus here in Europe to be able to have these stable connections. Video conferencing software, of course, you need Zoom. We're using Zoom right now. Skype, you can also use Google Meet, any of these. If you have others, so you can use those. And that's when you're teaching, privately or freelance. And online schools have their own software. So if you do end up working for an online school, which is the most likely scenario, that's at least where you'll begin, they will have their own video conferencing software and they will train you in how to use it. So you don't need to worry about that right now. But it's basically slides that we're doing like this exact same presentation, where you'll be talking over Zoom using a microphone, a headset and microphone, and talking to your students. Either way, whether you're working privately or for online schools, it'll be similar. All right, so who can teach English online? So teaching online is a great career. If you want to work from home, if you want to become a digital nomad and travel the world while you work, but it's not the perfect job for everyone. You need to be a good communicator, you need to be fluent in English, and you need to be responsible and professional. So if you enjoy talking to people, if you enjoy this kind of thing, then you would be good for it. You need to be fluent in English. You don't need to be a native speaker. If you're watching this video, or if you're online right now, or if you're watching the recording and you are a Spanish native speaker or an Italian native speaker, but you have a very good level of English, that's fine. A lot of students as well, especially freelance students, They enjoy having a teacher that understands the struggles that they are going through. Excuse me while I admit somebody to the call. All right. So there is a possibility. There's lots of opportunity for everybody from every background, as long as you have a very high and fluent level of English, native or not, it doesn't matter. And of course, to be responsible and professional, dress appropriately, professionally, show up on time, be responsible, be prepared, those kind of things. Okay, so what will you teach your students? Well, literally anything, depending again on your niche. There's travel English, legal English, business English, conversational English, tech, wherever background you have, you can bring to the table. All right. The things you don't know how to teach are included in the training we provide. Teaching English grammar, for example. I know when I did my TEFL course many, many years ago now, I had no idea about English grammar, about past participles and present perfect and all of those things. I remember my Spanish wife having to tutor me through that, because we came from a high school background or a university background where you don't learn the complete breakdown of the English grammar. And this is included in the course. All right. We speak and we know when something sounds wrong, but perhaps we don't know why it sounds wrong. All right. Lesson planning will teach you as well. This is very, very important. Being planned, being ready, being prepared, having something planned for your student is part of the professionalism of this. And we'll show you how to prepare a lesson plan so that it's effective as well as entertaining for the student. Evaluation. A lot of students have classes with you being paid for by their employers, for example. Their employers want to know, how's the student doing? How's my employee doing? You need to evaluate and write a report. So we need to show you how to do that as well. And the other aspects as well that we'll show you is how to pass job interviews, how to get private students, things like that. So not only the theory and the practical about being a teacher, but how to put that into practice to actually earn an income as an online English teacher. Speaking of earning, how much can you earn? Again, this varies wildly. It really depends on your qualifications. Qualifications come into the fray here, because when you work for an online school, whether or not you have a university degree matters on how much you're going to get paid. It doesn't matter what the degree is in. They don't care if it's in education or in science or whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as you have a university degree, the online school will pay you more. There are online schools that hire you without a degree. It doesn't matter, but you will have to take a pay cut. Your experience. Do you have any teaching experience, tutoring? Have you trained? Have you come from a corporate training background? Anything like that will help you develop your resume with is going to help you earn more money. Are you working for a school, or are you working privately? If you work for an online school, they have a fixed pay structure, and they try, like I said, to make as much profit as possible. They're going to charge the student as much as possible and pay the teacher as low as possible. If you're going private or freelance, then you can decide how much you want to get paid. Your niche. How in demand is your niche? If you've got something very, very specific like medical English and you want to help train doctors, then you can charge much, much more per hour. There are online teachers charging from $20 to $100 per hour, even more. That depends totally on you. And of course, your hours. If you work part-time, just a few hours a week, you're going to earn less. If you work more hours, you earn more. So take these things into account when deciding or looking at how much you can earn. So we have in the free course, we have a few case studies of teachers. Now, these are screenshots from one of the freelance platforms that we work with a lot called Preply. You can go have a look at that as well. Preply, Preply. It's written over there, actually. Preply's approved materials. So these are just some screenshots of some of the teachers that are on there. This is David, or David. He is a Spanish national, teaches English online. So again, very high level of English, but not a native speaker. And as you can see, he's charging 27 euros per hour for his lessons. And he has taught 1,402 lessons at the time of this screenshot. Just have a look at some other ones. This is Janet from the UK. She has taught 755 lessons and charges 41 euros per hour for that. All right. Faye from Ireland, she teaches there. She's taught 1,168 lessons at the time of this screenshot and charges 22 euros per hour. So you could charge anything you want. You can teach anything you want. And these are just screenshots from one freelance platform, Preply. This is not taking into account this teacher's experience on other platforms that they may be using, private students that they may have, that they got through word of mouth. and online schools. They may have had contracts with online schools and earned that as well. So what we always recommend is that you have multiple streams of income. Work for online schools, because while the pay is not going to be the best, it is going to be the most reliable. You know you're going to have 6 to 10 hours or 20 hours, whatever you're contracted for per week, and they're always going to be there. Whereas the freelancing, maybe your student cancels, they can't do it this week, they're going on holiday. There's a lot of leeway there. But if you've been following what's been happening in online teaching over the last couple of years, we know that about 2 years ago, China changed everything. There were about 450 online schools in China that were hiring teachers every day. It was crazy. And then the Chinese Ministry of Education just shut them all down, decided no more of that. We're going to bring everything in-house and have it here in China itself. And a lot of teachers lost their jobs. There's still tons and tons of schools out there and lots of jobs to be had, but not as many as there were in the past. And if those teachers were only on those schools, they had no private students, they lost all their income. So to prevent anything like that ever happening again, make sure that you're with the online schools, but also have your private students so that you can always have one backup in case anything happens. And then or private students as well, but that takes more time to build up a reputation and actually get those students. Okay. So that's a basic overview of what online teaching is and how you can do it. And now we can talk a little bit about how we're going to help you to achieve that, all right? So we provide teacher training courses. We provide the TEFL. That is the foundation for teaching English online. You may have heard of TEFL or TESOL or CELTA. They're all very, very similar courses. CELTA is just the TEFL provided by Cambridge University, all right? It's way more expensive, but it's also a 120-hour course with the same course materials. IELTS, TOEFL, and Cambridge, these are exam preparation courses. Now, we'll talk about them in a bit more detail, but these courses, or these exams are taken by English learners. Here in Europe, it's mostly Cambridge. And these students take these exams to prove their level of English to get into universities or travel abroad or work abroad or anything like that. They need to prove that they have a certain level of English. They take these, and these are internationally recognized certificates. So this is a great way to get started in a niche. Exam preparation is a very good niche, and we can help you get started there too. We also provide resources, resume, introduction videos, lesson plans, tech training. We have a resource library with a bunch of downloadable resources for you, paid and free. So you can have everything you need to have a successful career. We do the mentorship and coaching, like I mentioned earlier, run by Xander, so that once you've got all these certificates and you've done your training, you can put that all into practice and actually get interviews. And we'll do interview coaching with you as well, and get freelance students, show you how to get set up and start recruiting students, basically. And then, of course, ongoing support. This is another one that I've spoken about a lot, and what sets eTEFL Online apart from any other TEFL course provider is our lifetime support. So once you've done your certificate with anybody else, they will give you a certificate, or you can just download it yourself in most cases, and you're on your own. Good luck. But with us, you stay with us for as long as you want, and we will be there to support you. So I just wanted to go over the courses a little bit in more detail about what we provide. The TEFL certification course, this is just step one. Like I said, with every other TEFL course provider, this is what they provide you, and that's it. But this is just step one with us. This is the foundation you need to build on. This is what you need to do first. If you're on this call and you already have a TEFL certification, stay on, because we'll talk about other things later on that we can use to help you as well, like the mentorship program. We can sign you up for that if you've already got a TEFL certification, okay? So for those of you that are new, it's 120 hours of coursework, and you'll have 6 months to complete that in. You have access for 6 months, all right? 6 months is over 5,000 hours, and you need to do 120 hours. It's very rare that somebody doesn't complete it, and even if they don't, we can extend the course for you as well for like 30 euros. That's not our aim, though. Our aim is to encourage you and support you so that you complete the course in time. We will teach you how to teach a new language. That's very specific, all right? How to teach grammar, speaking, listening, reading, and writing, how to create effective lesson plans, and how to test and evaluate your students' progress, amongst many other things. There are 13 modules for you to go through, and they cover many aspects of English teaching. So the methodology we use is background information. We use examples as well for you to look at. Online resources for you to go out of the course. We have links for them as well so that you can go and support what you've already learned. Reflection activities, very important to stop after every module and have a think about what you've studied. before you move on. Formative quizzes at the end of every module. There's a short quiz just to check that you're on track. It's the short quizzes on formative quizzes are for you. They're not part of the assessment process for us. You just need to pass them to be able to move on to the next one, but that's for you to see if you're on track and if you've assimilated the information in the module. And then a summative assessment at the end, which is not something that many course providers provide you. You have a tutor, like I said, and at the end of the course, you have to do a final exam, multiple choice exam, and then you have to submit 3 assignments for assessment from your tutor, and they will give you feedback and pass you. It's very rare. You have 2 opportunities to pass the assessment process. I can't think in the last year of anyone who has not passed the assessment on either the first or the second try. All right. So we are there to help you. Our aim is to get you qualified and into the workforce. Accreditation as well. This is important to a lot of people. So we are accredited by the UK CPD group. This is the Continuing Professional Development Group. All our courses are moderated and managed by Dr. Daniel Portman, like I said previously. He's independent as well, so he moderates the course for us. And this means that our content and our processes are strictly monitored and regulated, and we ensure that we maintain top industry standards, and you can get an internationally recognized and globally accepted certification. So we've been issuing certificates for 6 years. Never once has our certificate been rejected by anyone. And we have partners as well abroad who we provide the TEFL certification course for their clients. And those clients are then sent over to work in China or in Vietnam, and our certificate is accepted by all of their education ministries. So we've never had an issue before. You can take the certificate and teach online, or you can take the certificate and teach abroad, whatever you want. I also wanted to give you a quick look at what the course platform looks like before you even get into anything. This is what you'll be studying, all right? We have PDFs. You can enlarge this PDF as well. There's all the tools for you to use. You can download the PDFs, print them out, and work with them. That's the kind of person I am. If that's the kind of person you are, I'm much more of a print out and then scribble all over it and highlight and things like that. And on the left here, you can go down the courses where all your modules are. Module 1 is how to be a good teacher. 2, how to manage a classroom. 3, how to plan lessons. 4, about English and the history of English. 5, teaching, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, etc., etc. The last one, for example, the last module being teaching English online specifically. Right, and then you go through those modules. You have to be able to complete each module before moving on to the next one and passing that little quiz at the end. It's usually only around 8 to 11 questions on each quiz just to keep you on track. But this is what the course platform will look like. Very similar to the free course. It's the same platform. So if you've done the free course, this is what it looks like as well. Okay. So that's a theoretical side of things. The 120-hour TEFL course is all theory. Now putting that into practice. In some of our programs, like the advanced programs, we include a 30-hour online teaching practicum. This is where you take that theory and you put it into practical use in a safe environment with other teacher trainers and with real students in a real classroom environment, technically throwing you in the deep end. So in this program, you will observe teachers, recordings of teachers, watch the videos and see what it is that you need to do and how they do things and how you do things differently. You complete a theoretical portion of the course. It's only a few hours. And then you teach 10 one-hour classes with real ESL students through our partner school. So we work with an external source on this one as well, a partner school, who will help you. And they have someone that's in the class with you, who's online with you throughout the entire period, making sure that everything is okay. If there's any technical issues, they handle it, Zoom things, allowing people in and out of the room, backup and support basically so that you can focus on teaching. During this practicum, you will have to prepare the materials yourself, prepare 10 one-hour lessons, but we provide you with 100 downloadable resources, downloadable lesson plans, which you can edit to your heart's content, and that's in our resource library, which is available to everybody who signs up. So at the end of that, you'll get a certificate from our partner school as well, and a letter, which, just basically you can use to apply for schools, telling whoever's reading it that you completed this program and that they're very happy with you. And then at the end as well, an accredited certificate from eTEFL online teacher training. So this is available, like I said, in our advanced and 150-hour programs. Just a screenshot of what a online class would look like. It is basically the exact same thing we're doing right now. I am giving you information online and you will be doing the same. In a Zoom, you can have some documents like this, some slides that you go through using PowerPoint, and you can see the student and there's the teacher on the top right. The student's face, of course, being blurred. He didn't want to have his face shared online. All right. But with the practicum, there will be group lessons. So there will be a few more students in the class as well. Okay, let's talk about the mentorship program then. So you've done your theoretical training, you've done your practical training, you've got your certificates, you've got all the knowledge that you're ever going to need to get started with. You will learn more, obviously, as you carry on, but to get started with, you'll have everything you need. How do you prepare your resume? How do you do an introduction video? Well, what is an introduction video? What do you have to say in that? What are freelance profiles? How do you apply for jobs? How do you get interviews? How do you pass those interviews? How do you get your own private students? And how do you make sure they keep booking classes with you? These are all things that we discuss and work with you through in the mentoring program. Okay, the mentorship program is a 10-hour program. It's delivered live using Zoom over a 3-week period. Each session will cover a specific aspect of your TEFL journey, and you'll have action points in between each session that you need to complete on your own before the next one. So your mentor will finish one session, or even before we begin, for example, session 1, he'll give you some documents that you need to prepare beforehand. It's very important to do your homework in between so that each session can run smoothly and everybody's on the same page. Session 1, for example, is introduction to the program, and talking specifically not only introduction to the other people that are in the group with you and to your mentor and to his background and why you should listen to what he has to say, but also talk about your motivation. There's going to be a long road ahead of you in some cases. Sometimes, I mean, we've had people that did the mentorship program, they're on session 3 and they've already got a job offer. So it takes 2 weeks. Other people take 2 months, other people take 6 months. It really depends on the person, how much time you have to put into it, how dedicated you are. So it may be a difficult road ahead. You're going to face rejection. Not every application you send out is going to be accepted. So for you to think about that motivation in session 1 and use that as your basis, as your foundation as you go forward, so that when the tough times come and you're getting rejection after rejection, you remember why you're doing this. All right. So that's important. Session 2 is resumes, an introduction video workshop. And that's where we start working exactly on how to prepare your resume, how to take your previous experience, even if it's not teaching experience, and reword it and reshape it and put it in there so that it's relevant to online schools. And then working on your introduction video script, at least at this point, so that you can use that in the future for freelance profiles. Session 3 is interview and trial lesson preparation. So you'll be doing live interviews with online schools. You'll need to know how to prepare for those. What questions are they going to ask? How should you answer them? What should your background look like? How long is it going to take, et cetera, et cetera. And then your trial lesson preparation. Once you pass an interview process, the next step before you even start teaching is that you're going to have to do a trial lesson, a mock lesson. So they'll invite you to another call, Zoom or Skype or something, where you'll have to present a short 15-minute lesson. So we'll show you how to prepare those lessons as well and practice them online with you and the other teachers in the group so that you know exactly what to do in that. And then session 4 is freelancing and profile creation, setting up freelancing. This is really where teaching English online becomes a lucrative career, is with freelancing. Really, to get started, like I said, the online schools, that's how you get started. And you keep them in your back pocket. Don't leave them. Even if they pay you €5 an hour or €10 an hour, take the job if they offer it to you. It's great for you to be in that environment and getting that experience. Think of it, like I said, as a paid internship. But freelancing, that's where you start choosing what you want to teach, how you want to teach it, when you want to teach it, how much you're going to charge. You decide who your students are going to be. So that's really where the long-term part of teaching English online comes in, is with the freelancing. So we'll help you get that set up. And this takes a while, because when we get set up on the freelance platforms, there's an algorithm that cycles through all the teachers and has to go through yours as well and start putting your profile up in front of students' faces so that they can click on you. So that profile creation is very important. So when that profile pops up, what does it say? Your written profile as well as your video that you're going to have to record. We'll show you exactly how to do all of those, what to say in those, how to word them, etc., so that people click on it and book a trial lesson with you, because that will be the next step in freelancing. And then in the last session is freelancing strategies, student conversion and retention. So building a long-term career. Once you've had that trial lesson with a freelance student, how do you convince them to book an actual class with you and pay you money after that? So what do you do as a follow-up? You send them an email, you send them some documents, you send them a review of what you talked about. There's little tips and tricks that Xander has developed over many years and has a great student retention and conversion rate that he'll pass on to you. And he'll give you all of those documents that he uses. He has, I think, 70 documents for the first 70 lessons with a freelance student, with a private student, so that you can keep them as your student and booking you and referring you. Again, very, very important, getting those referrals so that you can start teaching their friends and their family members, etc., etc. This is just what a mentorship session looks like. Again, it's like Zoom. We meet online and everybody has a chat, and we share information, and we go through all of the things that we've just discussed. Okay, niche specialization, or niche. I pronounce it niche. So choosing a niche specialization will help you earn more, for example, set you apart from the competition, and build a long-term career. All right, so it's very important that you have this as a freelancer. It's not really relevant when you're working for online schools because they tell you what to teach and they give you the students. So you don't need to specialize in anything. But as a freelancer, this will help you earn more. Like I said, if you're doing medical English and you're just targeting doctors, you can charge way more per hour than if you're doing general English to teenagers. One of the niches we can help you with, like I said, is that exam preparation to also help you earn more and get more students, set you apart from the competition. Now, there's a lot of teachers out there. Like on Preply, for example, there's 20,000 teachers on that platform. But you've got to remember that there's also 2 million students on that platform. So the ratio is still in your favor, but you do need to advertise and market yourself a little bit. It's not like being completely private where you have to create ads on Facebook or something. It's just a bit more in presenting yourself in that profile, which we will help you with, like I said. And this goes into building a long-term career. I was just speaking with Xander, the head of the mentorship program, a few days ago, and he was telling me he's now teaching the kids of a friend of a student from the freelance platform. And that's just how things branch out. You never know where this is going to take you and how much you're going to learn and who you're going to meet and all those things. So it's quite exciting as well. So he had a student on a freelance platform who referred their brother, who he taught privately, and then their kids eventually. So it's a whole web of opportunities that open up for you. So to talk a little bit about these exam preparation niche specialization courses, IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge. You can go Google them. They're also on our website as well. These are the 3 biggest exams for English proficiency tests. All right. IELTS is mostly East. So we're saying Asia, Russia, India, Turkey as well is very big. A lot of students there take IELTS. TOEFL is on the other side of the world, Canada, the United States. So a lot of students who want to go study in Canada and the United States need the TOEFL. That's what is accepted on that side of the world. And then Cambridge here in Europe. Cambridge is huge. I remember when I was teaching in academies, that is what I taught, exam preparation for that. And actually the Cambridge exam course that we have, I created that course based on my experience. I taught thousands of hours and thousands of students and prepared them for Cambridge assessment English exams. I also worked for Cambridge. I was an exam room supervisor for them for about 5 years. So I have intimate knowledge of the courses on the inside, and that's the same with the TOEFL and the IELTS. Our previous graduates of ours who went on to teach these, to prepare students for this and work for TOEFL and work for IELTS, so they have a lot of inside knowledge on how this works, and that's what we put into the courses so that you can prepare your students effectively for them. So this is, around 10 million candidates take these exams every year. So there's a huge pool of students for you to work with. And this is a great starter niche because it's great to say, oh, get a niche, medical English. I know a lot of people are not doctors or have medical backgrounds. So it may be difficult for you to find a niche in the beginning. So the best way to do it is just take one of these 30-hour courses. They're self-study courses. You have lifetime access to them and all future updates. So you can take your time with it. And you don't even have to complete it. It's not like you have to have a certificate. The courses are designed as a resource for you to come back to again and again. So for example, you're on a freelance platform and your student says, can you teach me Cambridge? Can you prepare me for the Cambridge exams? You just say yes. Then you go and you enroll in the Cambridge course and they say, tomorrow I want to do the speaking part. And you just go to speaking in the Cambridge and you just download that and you study that section and you download the resources for it and you teach your class for that. All right. If you want to use it as a certification course, you have to complete everything in it and all the quizzes along the way. And at the end, you get a certificate as well. All right. But it doesn't have to be like that. We're very practical in our approach. So each course is broken down into each part. So we show you the detailed breakdown of each part of the exam, the reading, the listening, the writing, the speaking, all of those parts. They're basically TOEFL, IELTS, and Cambridge are very, very similar. They have to test those four areas of English language, all right? So they're very similar, but their formats are completely different. So then we'll do explanations of the task types. We'll give you PDFs and audio and video resources to go through, additional PDF resources to download, and of course, like I said, lifetime support with everything. All right, lots of talking, lots of information to impart. But like I said, this will be recorded so you can watch the recording later. But this is just, again, a little photo of our online teacher community, which is waiting for you down there at the bottom. So what is the process of getting started? There are 4 steps. It's very simple to go through eTEFL online teacher training. And the first one is to enroll in one of our online teacher training programs. We have several. I'll go over them in a second. Next step, complete your TEFL, practicum, or exam prep. So TEFL, definitely. If you haven't done a TEFL course yet, if you don't have a certificate yet, this is what you need. You need to start here. Because once you've done the TEFL, then you can start your practicum, then you can start your exam prep, and then you can even start the mentorship program. You can do your practicum and your exam prep and your mentorship program at the same time. They're not that intensive. The practicum, for example, you have to do 1 hour per week. So you do 1 lesson per week. There's a lot of spare time for you to join the mentorship program as well. And once you've completed the mentorship program, your profile is live, you've gone through your interviews, you've got your first job, and you start teaching English online. All right. With the mentorship program, Xander is constantly applying for jobs. Even when he gets them, he just rejects them. He says, no, thank you, I'm not taking the job. Just so that we have a curated list of online schools. So we know exactly who's hiring at the moment, what the process is like, what they're going to ask you, so that we can provide you with that. So when you start applying for jobs, we'll send you a document that's constantly updated. And we say, okay, this school is hiring right now. This is how much they pay. This is what they need. And this is what you need, so that you don't have to waste any time after getting your TEFL certificate before you can start teaching English online. And that's one of the number 1 complaints I see online as well, is I have my TEFL certificate, but there's no jobs out there. That's absolutely not true. The market is not saturated. We are flooded with jobs. We are turning jobs down at the moment, all right? It's because these people have a cheap TEFL certificate that they found online, and they did it and printed out their own certificate, but they don't have a resume. They haven't gone through a mentorship program. They don't know what to say in an interview. They don't know how to prep for it. They don't know how to do a mock lesson or any of the stuff. So we've tried to distill it all down and get rid of all the chaff and just focus on what you need to kind of speed up that process and streamline it for you. All right, so it's very easy. Just visit eteflonline.eu/programs, or just eteflonline.eu and navigate around the website. I invite you to have a look around and look at everything that's on there as well. But that would be where our programs are. All right, you'll see a screen like this. Our programs start from €300. That's the standard one. That includes the 120-hour TEFL course, and it also includes the mentorship program, the self-study mentorship program. All right, so what I've been talking about this whole time with Xander and meeting online, that's included in the professional and the advanced. But the standard is 100% self-study. All right, there's some people who don't want to join the mentorship program and be there live. They don't have the time for it. They can't do it for whatever reason. They prefer to work on their own. So we've offered a standard version. Standard, 100% self-study. All right. The professional is when you upgrade, and that's when you do your 120-hour TEFL course. And then afterwards, it includes the mentorship program live so that you can meet online. So on the mentorship program, we also have a dedicated WhatsApp group just for that month. At the end, we delete it and you move into the main support group. So during that, so not only on the mentorship program, throughout those 5 sessions, you have access to us, you also have access to us privately through the group between sessions as well. All right. So any advice you need or anything else you've missed, we'll be able to support you through that group as well. All the sessions are also recorded. We put them on our YouTube channel. They are unlisted, so not anybody can just go to the YouTube channel and watch them. Only the people with the link, and I only share the link with the people in the group, so that also when the session is finished, or perhaps you miss a session one day, you can't make it for some reason, you can go back and watch the recording and then ask for any assistance in the group as well. And then the advanced 150-hour is the same as the professional, but now, like I said earlier, we include the 30-hour practicum. So if you have corporate training experience, or you have some teaching experience, or you've done mentorship or coaching or anything along those lines, I'd recommend the professional for you. All right. But if you have no teaching experience, or you don't feel that you've got the skills or the training that you need to teach an online class yourself, then I recommend the advanced 150-hour. Do the practicum. That is one of the things that our candidates come back to again and again, is the support and the practicum, how much they loved it. The support and the mentorship and the lifetime support, of course, and then the practicum as well, because you get that real world experience with real students afterwards. And some of our teachers as well, after completing the practicum, those teachers, those students that they taught, contact them privately, and they get private students that way as well. So You never know. Like I said, that web of possibility that happens afterwards. So starting from 300, 490 for that one, and 590 for the advanced. All right. But of course, thank you for staying until the end. I did mention in the beginning, if you stay until the end, we do have a special offer for you, and that is a 25% off coupon for all our programs and courses until midnight on Sunday, the 26th of November, 2023. Is use the coupon code when you're enrolling called webinar25. So we know that you saw it on the webinar, and that will automatically give you 25% off. So for example, this course over here, the advanced course, would be around over 100 euros cheaper based on that. On average, around 100 euros cheaper on these. I'm doing this instead of a Black Friday sale. Black Friday would be Friday the 24th. I'm not a huge fan of Black Friday and rampant consumerism. So I figured I would do a webinar instead and then offer something, at least a 25% discount on these programs. So all you need to do is visit the website eteflonline.eu, look at the program that you want to enroll in, and apply the coupon code at the end. And that brings us to the end of this.